Hello, everybody out there in GeekVengers land. This is Alex Trevino, and I'm here with Mr. Glenn Morshower. How you doing, sir?
I'm so well that it's almost unfair to the rest of the world. Honestly, if things get any better, I'm going to have to hire someone to help me enjoy it.
Awesome. Now, in case you don't know, this gentleman here has many starring roles in many genres, but my favorite, of course, was Agent Pierce in 24.
Thank you, bud.
Tell us about your life on 24.
You know, they brought me in originally in the second episode of the first season, and I was scheduled to do that episode and the following week and then die. That was it, 2 weeks. And 7 years later, I was still on the show. So it was a wonderful journey, and they're getting ready to put us back on Fox starting in May. The show will begin shooting in January in London. This is all known on the internet. I do not know at this point whether or not I'll be a part of the show, but this show is a big hit and the fans love it. And frankly, we've missed being on the air the last 3 years, so we're excited to be coming back.
Now, tell us about your character. You were kind of caught in the middle between knowing what was right, but having to stay with what you had to do and stuff. That must have been a great conflict to play out as an actor.
Well, the role of Aaron Pierce was someone who was an extremely principled man, principles before preferences, and so he always honored that to the nth degree, no matter what. With the exception of back in season 2, when he felt that something was being violated, in which case they grabbed hold of President Palmer, and Pierce did show up as his friend and slip him a satellite phone, which was illegal, but he was trying to honor his friendship and his relationship with the president. So.
Now, yesterday you shared an interesting tidbit with me. 24 was not canceled. Y'all decided to kind of put it on hiatus in a way and see what would come of it.
Well, the ratings were always good throughout the 8-year run, and they just, sometimes you make the mistake of staying on the air a little too long, and then everybody wants you to just go away. And fortunately, they left at a time when the appetite was still very strong for the show, which no doubt is heavily influencing the current appetite for the show, because people never got tired of seeing it. But I think from the standpoint of the writers, it was one of the most difficult shows to write, because in traditional episodic television, they're only writing 1 hour at a time, and they don't need other hours to connect with that. So, and you're only dealing with 44 actual minutes of television anyway, with the commercials for the remaining 16. So the truth is, if, let's say, for example, a 44-minute episodic show is just marginally successful, or maybe it's not really that interesting, they can divorce the idea and start with a new project the following week. Whereas for 24, they had to come up with a premise that was not only interesting for an hour, but that would be interesting for 24 consecutive episodes. That is not easy to do. So all of us were most impressed with the fact that year after year our writers could come up with these tremendously enticing storylines, and I just salute them. I was so very blessed to work with this group of writers.
Now, outside of 24, tell us about some of the other memorable characters you played.
Well, let's not forget that years ago it all began on the Dukes of Hazzard. No, I did. I did a couple of episodes of Dukes in the late 70s and early 80s. Started making movies right here in Texas in 1975. I'm a native Texan. You know, they say there are only 2 kinds of people in the world: Texans and those who wish they were. But I grew up here, not in San Antonio, but up in Dallas, and wound up with a lead in a film that moved me to Los Angeles in 1977. We shot the film in late 75, a movie called Drive-In. And I've just had this wonderful career as a character actor. I've actually had 2 separate careers, one with hair and one without. And the one without hair is actually going significantly better than the one with hair. So I just have no complaints. Probably the highlights of my career, my favorite movie I've ever been in was a film called Black Hawk Down. This is out of about 212 different films and television shows. And then in television, bar none, 24 was the dream role of a lifetime. But I also have had a lot of fun with the Transformer movies, and Michael Bay was sweet enough to actually name the character after me. So the character I play in the Transformer films is a guy named General Morshower, and he talks far too loud when he's standing right next to you.
We're getting reports of Decepticon sightings and Energon readings everywhere from California to Shanghai.
I understand outside of acting, you're a motivational speaker.
Oh, somebody did their homework.
Yes, sir, we do.
Yeah. In fact, honestly, that's the love of my life, is being able to be present and in some way, shape, or form, anytime we are operating in a service capacity, I think it's a beautiful thing. I think people who think in terms of serving others, they live richly blessed lives. And to be a part of a facilitation of someone having an aha moment and waking up to the possibility that maybe they could do life a wee bit more efficiently, better, more thoughtfully, more lovingly, whatever it is, and to watch that happen is really spectacular.
Notice we're not called human becomings, we're human beings. It's about being, right here, right now.
And I've been doing that for about 25 years, and for the last 10 years I've been doing it at the corporate level. So I go in and speak for major corporations, and my talks are primarily about living in a synchronistic relationship with your soul, living an aligned life, and thereby increasing your efficiency and effectiveness as a human being. And that tends to be true across the board, no matter what your profession is.
Well, Mr. Morshower, thank you for your time. We appreciate you being on GVTV. And for me, it's an honor to meet you because you're one of my favorite characters.
Oh,
and I will continue watching, sir.
Thank you so much. God bless you guys.